Welcome to another episode of Axe of the Blood God, an independent RPG podcast. I'm your host, Kat Bailey. Joining me, as always, my lovely co-host, Nadia Oxford.
Hello, Kat. If you hear fighter jets, it's because there's an air show going on around here. If you see the fighter jets accompanied by mushroom cloud, then it's a problem. Otherwise, it's false alarm.
Also joining us, my equally lovely co-host, Victor Hunter.
Oh, Kia! I love this. Hi, it's your old pal Victor Hunter.
Straight from the editing bay. So this week, this episode will be edited by Alexi. So we'll see what happens with this particular one.
Oh, yeah.
And then finally, joining us is Eric Van Allen.
Did I get demoted because I was late today? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
You have to stand in the hallway with pails of water.
Assistant producer Eric Van Allen.
Oh, that's understandable. You know,
Assistant adjutant producer, because Alexi's the assistant producer, so I guess you're just the third in line adjutant.
God forbid a man get a little eepy, you know? God forbid I honk shoe on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Well, this is a very special occasion for Axe of the Blood God because one of us is getting married this weekend, and that one of us is Victor Hunter. Congratulations! It's not Poe.
Thought we were gonna do a fun little puzzle where by the end of the episode you figure out who it is, and then you send it in with your box tops, and then you get a special prize. And...
I actually just recently, believe it or not, there was an opportunity for me to do a box top thing, and I fucked it up. So up here in Canada, Mini Wheats was doing a promotion, like send in 2 box tops for Mini Wheats. You get a towel with Tony the Stupid Tiger on it. I'm like, oh shit, that sounds great. So I did that. You have to buy the boxes at the same time, of course, because it's a scam. But I forgot to save my receipt that said I bought these boxes, and like I didn't just like take pictures of them off the internet or whatever. So I ate the Mini Wheats, but I didn't get the towel.
Isn't the whole point of the box tops that sending the box tops in is the proof that you purchased the thing? Isn't that proof of purchase? I just wanted
the pictures. They don't really have you send it in anymore, but I do like that, and that box tops were involved.
Yeah.
Throughout.
I
didn't get my Tony.
Can confirm box tops were involved.
I had that with the most recent Call of Duty. I tried to buy some Monster Energy so I could get skins in Call of Duty because I was just like 12 again for a little bit. And I bought them, and at the gas station I was like, no, don't give me a receipt. It's like 2 cans of Monster Energy. Who cares? And then I got home and they were like, yeah, you just have to send us a picture of the receipt that says you bought 2 cans of Monster. Like the cans are not even involved in the transaction. And I was like, what are we doing here? That's what happened to the days of popping the lid, the little top of the soda can has the little code on it, you punch it in. Simpler times. What are we doing here trying to scam?
You would unscrew the bottle and
you're
there'd be like a rubber thing on the bottom.
Yeah. I wanna pop the little rubber thing on the inside of the bottle cap out, and it have a little code that gets me Pepsi points, so I can get a freaking Yoda.
Pepsi points.
Exactly.
Remember popsicle points?
So I didn't get a Monster thing, and I don't think I ever drank those cans of Monster. So I have 2 like year-old cans of Monster sitting in my fridge right now.
Ew.
The old year-long cans.
Well, they never go bad because they're basically. They have a half-life of 10,000 years. So.
Yeah, but I kind of want to see what happens now. Like, what if they stay there? What if they go to Minneapolis with me? That'd be crazy.
Monster gives you 4 wings. Like a mana beast.
In honor of Victor getting married tomorrow, we're going to be doing an episode about the best RPG weddings. And there are actually a lot of them. It's a great way to talk about a interesting RPG mechanic while also celebrating a significant life event for one of our beloved hosts / producers / Charlie and Dropouts creators / everything really. So congratulations again, Victor.
Thank you. I do exist in a bit of a quantum state right now where if you're listening to this live, I'm getting married tomorrow. If you're listening to this the day it came out, I got married yesterday. So
Schrodinger's wedding.
Yes.
How you feeling? How you feeling right now, Victor, if you don't mind me asking?
Great. I
nervous, excited?
Yeah, the butterflies kind of hit us both yesterday.
Yeah, wow.
But the planning itself is going great. It's fun. We do have a bit of a theme, and seeing people dress to the theme is very fun.
Ooh, what's the theme? Can I ask? Is it okay?
Yeah. So the wedding is being held at a very like swanky little lounge that is in the back of another bar. It used to be a tiny little theater that was behind
Cool.
a gallery
Oh, that's
that was
great.
behind a bar.
Okay.
And
That's adorable.
I'd performed in there a few times. But now it's this cool, like, sort of retro Havana themed bar. So we are encouraging just like a timeless vintage retro lounge look, whether that is the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. If you look like you belong in a dingy little slightly upscale secret bar in Cuba, then
That
I was
sounds
going to
like
say you're
aesthetic.
finding a lot of words to say that aren't just speakeasy, but is it
Yeah,
not
yeah.
quite speakeasy? It's kind of just like
It-
vintage.
speakeasy vibes for sure,
Okay.
but also you're somewhere hot, and
Got it.
you might have like taken a small flight to get here, and you might be taking a small flight back home at 3 a.m.
Okay, you had a plan, Arthur, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're in Tahiti.
Yeah.
Tahiti.
Hmm.
Well, we'll be getting to all of that in just a moment. But first, if you're enjoying the show, please consider supporting our podcast with Patreon at patreon.com/bloodgodpod. We doing so at the $5 level will get you lots of bonus content, including the show ad-free. You get access to Charlene Dropouts. You get access to our newsletter that goes out every single Thursday, thanks to Nadia. You get a line directly into Nadia's brain
Yeah,
through the
it's like,
newsletter. It's just Nadia's id.
yeah, you're mainlining heroin essentially. hear
Yes,
that, Twitch.
exactly. And for $5 more than that, you get access to all of our bonus content, including our upcoming Magic the Gathering episode. You can watch listen to our recent Pantheon discussion of Trails in the Sky SC, get access to the Discord, and much, much more. If you want to buy some merch, shop.bloodgodpod.com, Stars of Destiny, get a 20% discount. And speaking of the Stars of Destiny, we every week we shout out a individual Star of Destiny, and this week it's Only Ghosts with the really cool Pac-Man logo. Only Ghosts, thanks so much for your support.
Only ghosts, and yet there is a Pac-Man. There is a philosophical bent going on here.
Yeah, I'm wondering what that exactly means. Only ghosts allowed? Only ghosts beyond this point?
It was
There
What
have
about
only
Pac-Man?
ever
But there's
been
only
ghosts?
Ghost.
Right. Okay.
Only ghosts.
What do Inky and Blinky? What do they do when Pac-Man's not around? Do they just bounce around in that
Oh,
little box?
What do
Yeah,
they
didn't you
dream
watch-
of?
What is
at
going
night?
on in that box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the cartoon as a kid. I loved the cartoon when I was a kid.
I
It
didn't.
inspired Pac-Land, which in turn inspired Super Mario Brothers, which in turn inspired the
Does
entire
it give
world.
the answer to what's happening in the box?
I think we know what's happening in the box because you mentioned Inky and Blinky, but we all forgot the third ghost, Kinky, and
Sue.
Inky.
that's the really important one.
Sue was the kinky one. Sue was
Oh
kinky.
boy. Oh boy.
Wow.
Wow.
It reminds me of
We're outside 5
the
minutes, right?
It reminds me of the robot chicken bit where what's happening in the Pokeball,
Yeah.
and
Yep,
I think it's Pikachu raving.
Yeah, Pikachu raving, yeah.
Yeah, it's a Pikachu
And he's
rave.
like, when he's like, Pikachu, I choose you, and he just downs a thing of black coffee.
Just kind of slaps his
Charizard.
cheeks a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
All right. We're on to the first segment of the episode, the greatest RPG weddings. What's an RPG wedding all about? It's a great visual set piece. It's a storytelling device, and it can create an RPG power couple. All of these are great things to have in an RPG. And just generally, it's an amazing spectacle, and they've been in many games. Final Fantasy, shockingly, loves weddings. Just think about even Final Fantasy VI, where Celeste, I mean, is essentially doing a musical wedding, I guess you could say. Well, she's wearing the wedding dress.
Oh,
She's
sure.
wearing a white dress.
Oh,
and it does
yeah,
have
yeah,
the theme
yeah.
of- it does have the
Maria
theme of
and
war.
Yeah.
Draco. Yeah.
Maria and Draco, yeah.
Yeah.
Maria.
She does remind me of the
We were
West Side
talking-
Story.
Remind me of a West Side Story. Yeah.
Before the
Carlos
episode
Santana.
started, Victor and I were talking, and I was like, I like an RPG that lets me just stay in the wedding dress for the rest of the game, like Dragon Age Origins.
Those are pretty good. Like you get it as a glam almost.
It's the equivalent of. It's kind of the equivalent of Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, where you just go with shirtless Link the entire game. Same,
Oh, yeah.
same thing.
And
Oh,
then you go
yeah,
up into
yeah.
the mountains and freeze to
Yeah,
death.
you're very glam. But
Frozen from hot.
our favorite RPG weddings. I'm just going to go around really quickly, and we'll start with the guy who is the one here who is actually getting married. Victor, what's your favorite RPG wedding?
Oh, well, favorite RPG wedding. I mean, you kind of have to split them up into different categories, right? You can have your narrative beat wedding, which is usually it's a scripted part of the story. I'm talking like Final Fantasy X, Seymour and Yuna. That's a wedding that is part of the stakes of the story. It's important to the through line and to character development and to important story beats. Then you've got we'll say the player led weddings, which can be like your Fire Emblems, your the romanceable characters that through some player intervention were led to happen. I know even for Fire Emblem, most of those happen off screen, but I don't know. We can say that like an S support is more often than not an implication of a wedding of some kind.
There is, I think Fire Emblem Awakening does at least codify it that whoever is S ranked with Chrom by that certain point in the story does get married to Chrom, and that becomes part of the relationship or whatever. Yeah.
They're knocking boots.
Yeah. And then you have I think this still counts and is still important to like the evolution of weddings in RPGs, because in MMOs like Final Fantasy XI or Final Fantasy XIV, you have player-held weddings that are uniting two players. And if that isn't an opportunity for role play, I don't know what is. Because that's like, I mean, a bunch of you were there. People listening to this, listeners attended my in-game FF14 wedding to the woman who is now my real-life fiance. And that was super fun. People, again, we had a pretty loose theme, but it was like dress up, and people gather, and you gather outside of the temple. And there's a huge, long process to scheduling the wedding and setting aside a block of time, and it guarantees you a certain instance at a certain time on a certain date, and then you set a schedule and you like trigger the next events to make it happen, and it's its own quest line with its own unique rules, which I think is super fun. So I might just give it up to Final Fantasy XIV's weddings, because
They
I
are
think
fun. They're a good process.
they're fun. They're a good excuse for people to gather, and the party favors that you get to give out to all your attendees are very fun and cute.
You do
There's
get some really good party favors for your guests. Like
Get a
you get
sick
you
mount,
get a
too, yeah.
minion.
yeah,
If you're a guest, you get a little moogle, a little wedding moogle.
yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I've gotten one.
Oh, I
Yeah.
might not know I have it because I still hate minions. So yeah, it's probably just in
Wait,
You
there.
got a problem.
I'm
Eric.
sorry. Why do you hate minions?
They're annoying. They're just little things that clog up like the screen everywhere, and they just follow you around. They don't really do anything either. They just kind of sit
But
there.
you can have a little cat bat that sits
I-
on your shoulder.
It
Right,
doesn't
I
sit
have a
on your
cat.
shoulder. It just
Yes, it
follows
does.
you.
Flash
It
beckon.
totes sits on.
Flash beckon.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
you have to command it
Excuse me.
to.
It totes sits on your shoulder. I know.
You have to do the
I've played
emote
Final
and
Fantasy
stuff.
XIV.
It's
Have
settled-
you played Final Fantasy XIV, Eric?
yeah. I walked to the end and then some.
But,
Don't check me on this.
How dare you, cat? How dare
The
you?
point is, you do get a little bridal minion.
Yeah,
very soon.
I just think minions are dumb. I don't like them.
And
Do you know they interact with each other, Eric, or they can?
Sure,
If
that's
Runar
great.
finds a Yustola, Runar will give her a little flower. Like, come on.
Okay.
Come on. Okay, he says.
you mean you haven't been playing Lord of Verminion every week?
The only reason I even tolerate getting new minions is because I might be able to use them in Lord of Verminion, and also I think Lord of Verminion's not a very interesting game. So I would rather go play Dome and Mahjong.
But yes, bride and groom do get a 2-seater white chocobo that is very lovely. However, when we rode off into the sunset after our wedding, I'm the sicko who's unlocked the flying bike that Fran and Balthier have from FF12. So
Nice.
I, of course, drove that with my beautiful bride in the
It's
passenger
like the ending
seat.
of Grease.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Better than the end of The Graduate. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm
Yeah.
not saying. I'm not saying
Yes.
that was very-
Did you watch The Graduate recently?
No, it just came to mind.
I've never seen it. I want to see it.
Whenever I think of weddings, I think of that
Sure.
ending. Hello,
It's on my
darkness,
list.
my old friend. It's so great and so terrible and amazing. Your
Nadia,
business is an
What's your favorite RPG wedding?
Because of visions I need creeping. I think that my favorite weddings are the ones that tend to happen at the end of an adventure because you kind of get that fairy tale conclusion. And my favorite, I think, was probably Final Fantasy IV's, and for an interesting reason, and not just because I love the game, but also because when I came into RPGs, I was very used to them being kind of depressing in terms of ending. Like Secret of Mana, if you've ever seen that ending, it's quite melancholy. It's very melancholy, actually. Final Fantasy VI is mostly a happy ending, but it's not perfect. Like, we have a lot of questions about what's going to happen to Terra. We have some answers, but not all of them. We have, like, what happens to Shadow. Spoiler alert, sorry, Eric. And, but Final Fantasy IV was just like, okay, everyone's here except Kain, because Kain's gonna Kain, and we're gonna have a nice wedding, and now we have King Cecil and Queen Rosa. And yeah, and everyone just kind of comes to the wedding, and it's even the dwarves. And it's fun. It's just a really fun ending with like really cool music, and it's basically it's pretty rare to get an RPG with an ending that's just like, hey, we're good, we're all good until after years. See you then.
I feel like 4, maybe especially because Tokita was like a theater guy, but like 9 especially. 9 leans
I
into
love
the
9's
Shakespeare of it all.
Yeah.
With just so many overt references to Shakespeare and even like Greek classic theater. The construction is, if you are going to see a comedy in Greek theater or Shakespearean theater, you are expecting a wedding at the end. If you don't get your wedding at the end, you have not given your sad audience the catharsis they need to carry on with their pitiful lives.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, life has been bleak throughout history, and
life sucked back then.
Yeah.
and plays that end with weddings truly are there to like just remind everyone that maybe everything can be okay and that it's worth going on and maybe finding love.
They didn't
why you
have
need
TikTok
art.
back then, so they really needed something
No.
else to keep them going.
Yeah. But I think concluding a game, and especially the Final Fantasies that are tied into theater tradition. I love a wedding at the end. It's fun. It does
nice,
feel
isn't
great.
it?
I mean, that's even a golden age musical theater thing. You're singing in the rains, or your anything goeses, or whatever. Those are all gonna end with a wedding because that's a crowd pleaser.
Or or at least like them getting together in some way, like a white Christmas
Yeah.
type thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, White Christmas, guys and dolls.
Uh-huh.
You gotta have a wedding.
How about you, Eric?
Final Fantasy X, easy, no
So
question.
it's all Final Fantasies all the way down.
Yeah, look, they know
really
how
good
to
at
put
it.
a wedding on. It's a good time.
Yeah.
I think I love tens because it is that narrative
Weddings
beat.
and trains. Those are the things that they do well in Final
You're
Fantasy.
so right. Yeah. Now
That's why
wedding
we
on
love
a train,
Final
that'd be
Fantasy.
crazy.
What about a
I'd
ghost
love to-
wedding?
love to get on a train.
Ooh,
I mean, that's
now
basically
we're
what the
talking.
Phantom Train was.
Oh,
Phantom
no.
wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X.
Can you suplex the wedding?
You cannot suplex the wedding.
You cannot suplex the wedding.
Yeah. Final Fantasy X, I love the wedding scene. It's that narrative beat like Victor was talking about. I do like it because I think one underutilized thing that we're going to see here is wedding is usually, it's player character gets married to character of their choice. It's the romance mechanic of the game. But Final Fantasy X is a wedding that your team does not want to happen. It's the political marriage that's like bad for everybody, and so you're going to put a stop to it. It's the big action. There's a few of those on here. I think wedding as drama is an underrated tool.
Oh, I love weddings drama. It is the drama tool.
Yeah, and so and also the scene when the chains get shot in and you're grinding down the chains, and it's what Sonic Adventure 2 should have been if it was a good video game. And
Oh, Eric, we don't
Yeah,
need
yeah,
the
yeah,
Sonic
yeah.
band in here.
Whoa.
What?
no, I just
Christ,
sometimes
whoa.
I like to throw
Whoa.
elbows just to see people's reactions. I actually don't care about Sonic Adventure whatsoever.
This is a family podcast.
Yeah.
It's a Christian podcast.
I don't like it or dislike it. I'm just
We
completely
don't say
apathetic
satanic
to
words here.
it. But no, Final Fantasy X, it's like the best scene. You have that entire escape from oh my god, I suddenly forgot the name of the church city in Final Fantasy X. I'm a terrible fan. I'm a bad fan.
You are.
Yeah.
Eric, what the heck?
Uh,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Nobody else can name it either.
They had the commercial where I remember the Final Fantasy X commercial, and when so Tidus and everybody play Wedding Crashers in Final Fantasy X.
Bell.
Yeah.
no.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Bavel.
The escape from
And
Bell
they
is
are
awesome.
they're riding down the rails or something to crash Yuna's wedding. And it was a cool visual spectacle. That's all. That's
to
the only
see
reason I
more
brought it up.
Guado.
It was in the commercial. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
I,
his name?
I don't know.
So wedding. I like Wedding Seymour the best. That's my favorite Seymour form, by the way.
Oh, I like Mount Gag as a Seymour quite a bit. That dude's real
Boy.
messed up by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going through it.
I think the shot of Yuna falling in her wedding dress
Yes.
that's a I don't know, that's got to be a top 10
And then Veilfor just
RPG moment.
darts
Yeah.
down. Oh,
It's incredible.
beautiful. And then that whole sequence that follows that, you do have to do the worst Chamber of the Faith afterwards. It is the worst one.
Yeah.
But then,
And that's saying a lot.
yes. But
They're all bad.
everything
This is
after
just the
that,
worst.
you have the party split after that. You have the summoner battle after that. You have the underwater fight against every Altana. Like that's,
Yeah.
and then you have the final Seymour fight to cap it off. Oh, so good.
Who doesn't love a good party split?
Me, you ever had to deal with Phoenix Cave in Final Fantasy VI? Jeez.
I like a good RPG wedding when I'm getting married. I like to be the center of attention. So Skyrim, for example, when everybody shows up, I just appreciate it's a nice touch, as opposed to, and now you are married. Congratulations, marriage.
Marriage is why
So-
Brings us together. Yeah.
Man, and
Stardew Valley, it's always very satisfying when you got the entire town out there, and you're getting married, and two girls in wedding dresses, and they're kissing, very gay.
Not gay.
With my girl Leah, she.
How what's it like being married to Leah? I feel like she'd drive me crazy, but she.
Oh my
she
God,
seems fun.
she's the only one. So I've been married to Abigail and Leah, and Abigail's okay, but kind of married young and clearly is like not super happy in the marriage. Leah, on the other hand, she makes me coffee every morning. And that's a big deal in Stardew Valley because coffee, it makes you go faster. And I love coffee in real life.
I was like, min-maxing was number one on that. That's a huge stat boost. We're optimizing now.
Even
no,
good.
I mean, I like when the weddings have a gameplay implication in there. So, and like, Leah's very cheerful and she's got her own life. You have your little, she puts her little sculpture out in the garden and you can see her working on it sometimes.
It's cute.
And I'm like, that's great. As far as I know, Abigail only plays video games, so.
I like when weddings have a gameplay mechanic is a slippery slope to eugenics, Kat.
Yeah.
It really is.
What?
I'm looking at the marriage candidates for Stardew, and I forgot how strange they are. Because you have...
Oh, I love them all.
So you have, let's say, Abigail, gamer girl, purple hair, etc. Leah, who's kind of your like rugged rural girl for sure. Sam looks like Goku. Sam just kind of looks like Goku.
He's such a dumbass.
Shane,
did you say that Leah's rugged?
Yeah, well, I mean, so rural. Like she looks like she is not a city girl. You know what I'm saying? She's got some country in her.
There's so many Leahs in my life in real life.
As well.
She's going to Burning Man. She's got Burning Man art. She very practical, very cool, has always got a DIY project going on. Just the fact that I basically have been with a Leah for 25 years has nothing to do with it, but
I feel like I could dunk on every single one of these marriage candidates.
Hey,
Leah, Sebastian,
I like Emily. In the game,
right.
I like Emily.
I like Emily.
She's one of my faves.
Very quirky. She gave me a sewing machine.
Yeah.
She's nice.
Leah may have a DIY project on the go all the time, but my favorite Harvest Moon bachelorette has a DUI project going on, and that's Karen.
God damn it, Karen.
Karen from that. Oh my gosh.
Like I said yesterday, I remember because I played a lot of Mineral Town back in the day, and I said that I married Karen, and there's a sequence where you actually, find out you're pregnant or your wife is pregnant, and she says, "Wow, I just thought I was hungover." I swear to God, this is a Game Boy Advance game.
Karen's the best, always of the OG Harvest Moon Bachelorette cast. Always my go-to.
I do. Oh, sorry. I was going to say Nadia. That I feel like Harvest Moon did the whole baby thing a little better than Stardew Valley is still like, hey, guess what? You're pregnant. My husband telling me, oh, Shane. It's like, yeah, you're pregnant. Like, what do you mean I'm pregnant? Did you just touch me? What happened? Are you Jesus? Sorry, go ahead, Kat.
Returning to Stardew Valley, my favorite male candidate is definitely Harvey, who I just like the mustache, and he wants to be like a world traveler, I think.
Yeah,
and my least favorite is definitely Shane, who I think was actually voted on.
Yeah, Shane looks
People were given the choice to vote on someone who would have a that you could get married to, and there were some other, if I recall correctly, more interesting candidates than him.
His favorite gifts are beer and peppers.
And pizza.
And Shane is unironically there's they're so toxic, ha ha ha, and then there's, oh my god, Shane is the most toxic because he's the guy that everybody thinks they can fix, except you marry him and you just have a garbage pit in your house now. And it's not like he gets better, it's not like he stops drinking, he's just a sad sack. Sorry.
His quote, his woke his woke. Sorry, his quote.
His woke.
His woke. His quote on the Stardew page is him saying, "Oh, if I could start over, maybe I'd start a chicken farm." Motherfucker, you live in Stardew Valley. What is stopping
if you marry him, if you marry him,
Except that you get him in your house and he started over, but he's not doing anything.
Exactly.
None of them do anything. I mean, I married Sebastian. He just smokes weed with a bong, doesn't have a spout.
I do like Sebastian.
Sebastian's great, and he gives you coffee as well, which is a good thing to have, as you say, in the morning.
Speaking of Skyrim, I had forgotten about this one. There's another wedding in that game, except, and I love these kinds of segments. You're trying to murder someone who's getting married.
Oh,
Specifically, the Emperor's cousin, Vittoria Vici.
Mm-hmm.
And a wedding can be a great sandbox where you're trying to accomplish many different things and lots of people are doing activities. And I guess one of the ways that you can murder her is by dropping a gargoyle on her head while she's giving a speech.
Exactly what I did. Yeah. It's a pretty sick way to end that quest. I think that is... I dunk on Skyrim all the time, but that part of the Dark Brotherhood quest is probably one of my favorite parts of that game.
That was a good quest line, the Dark Brotherhood.
Yeah. You have the part where you get in the coffin and then it gets tipped over and you're floating down the river, but you're like talking to a corpse while you're doing it. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
I would say that the Dark Brotherhood is essential and the single best thing about Skyrim, aside from getting married to your werewolf girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I know I told this story because I've told the story 50 times, but I just want to repeat the story here about how someone on Reddit was saying that they romanced Vilcus through all of Skyrim, and then they realized, oh shit, it was actually Farkas I wanted to marry. So they ditched Vilcus at the altar and turned to Farkas and married him right there. And apparently for the rest of the game, Vilcus was saying, "I never want to see you again," in his accent, and it just was so funny.
Wait, he's like the Count from Sesame Street. I never want to see you again.
Vilcus, Farkas, like Farkas is Hungarian. I don't know what Vilcus is supposed to be, but they do have that kind of like, Soviet sort of Carpathian thing going on.
Oh, okay.
I never want to see you again. One, two.
I never.
One heartbreak.
Amazing.
There's another Final Fantasy wedding that I don't want to pass by is FF15.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Geez.
Now, story-wise and set-piece-wise, it's really great. It's wonderful. I don't want to get into it too much because it's very spoiler-heavy.
Colossal spoilers, yeah.
Yeah. But it is really it's a highlight of that entire game for sure. But what stands out to me the most about Final Fantasy XV's wedding, and I would love to, hey, maybe if an opportunity for the old V-Man to host an episode pops up, maybe we'll be doing some fashion in Final Fantasy talk.
Oh.
Because the dress that Luna Freya,
an incredible dress,
her wedding dress, is designed by Vivienne Westwood, who R.I.P. passed away 2 or 3 years ago, I think now. She, if you have ever subscribed to any sort of punk aesthetic, that is, you have Vivienne Westwood to thank. Costume designer for the Sex Pistols, the mother of punk aesthetic. With, if you like pleated tartan skirts and torn leggings and studded belts, and if you've gone through that phase, you have her to thank. But she also designed just a gorgeous wedding dress for FF15, to the point where some of the NPC dialogue surrounding it, the incidental NPC dialogue, is people saying, "It was designed by Vivienne Westwood. Can you believe it?" And I think that's so charming that she exists in the world of FF15.
So does Coleman. I remember getting kind of angry because, the wedding dress, they made the mistake of mentioning it on Conan, and Conan was just like making fun of the whole thing, like, oh, why would boys care about a dress? Why, that's so silly, that's so stupid. And it's like, dude, come on. I usually like
This
you,
boy,
Conan.
this boy cares about this
This
wedding
also,
dress.
I
It's a
feel like one
sick-ass
thing about
dress.
FF15 that I give a lot of credit to is I just feel like having those 4 boys in like a group and like, being dudes, like open something up for people. Like we don't have to be so homophobic about fucking everything in the universe. We can sometimes men can like pretty dresses. It's not that big of a deal.
It's dudes rocking the video game. Like I think there are reasons to slight FF15 for a few reasons, but like I generally, when I played that game back originally when I reviewed it, actually back when it came out, and I was on the higher end of reviews, and I'd like to think that
Me too. I was higher up on FF15 than a lot of people.
I'd like to think that history has vindicated me, because it was a good game. It was a really good time. It was a really good story. It was a really cool world. It was a really interesting idea. I think there were problems with how it was framed and trying to put what basically should have been the in-game prologue in a movie that you had to watch beforehand, and taking a bunch of really interesting side story and putting that in anime YouTube episodes like that. The whole transmedia push of that game was probably its biggest faltering step. But I think the thing that came together in the end, the story of Noctis and the boys, and especially the events that lead up to that big finale and the scene in question and all that, is honestly some of the best stuff that I've seen Final Fantasy pull off. It is, the ending to that game is one of the best endings in Final Fantasy, period. Like I have no qualms saying
You think so?
It's so good. It's incredible.
I thought it was
Even that
I was bawling.
Yeah, it was pretty sad.
Arden's an underrated villain, I think.
Arden's a very good villain. He's got the he's got the look for it. He's got the attitude for it. His backstory is kind of meh in my opinion, but it's enough to give him a reason to do the things that he is doing, and then he ends up just being a very good character to fight against Noctis, and being a very interesting counterpoint. And also he does the whole Joker thing of just bothering you throughout the entire story, and I like that. I like when you have a consistent villain that's kind of pestering you throughout the story.
And it's stuck to him.
Yeah.
Nadia, have you played episode Arden?
I have not.
Oh, you should. I think you'd quite like it.
I have not
actually
played the DLC for 15, which is a shame because I should really restart that game because since I played it, it's been overhauled 50 times.
Remember episode Prompto where he becomes Solid Snake?
Yeah,
I love Prompto.
Hell yeah.
You know what really messes me up about Final Fantasy 15 is that Prompto is wearing a button that says like "What a beautiful day." Now watch someone fuck it all up. You can't see it because it's low res, but that's what it says.
Yeah, designed by Rowan, the fashion designer. I love their clothes.
I appreciate the fact that Final Fantasy has always been really into fashion, and if anything, they have a wedding because we want to have a dress. Not even like because of the story. It says we want to make nice things. We want to make nice clothing.
Returning to the world of PC RPGs, this one's for you, Eric.
Pantheon eligible. In criminal justice pointing out that 15 is Pantheon eligible.
It is eligible.
Hell yeah.
I don't think I'd put it in, but it is eligible.
Spoilers, cat. Now no one's going to pay.
No, they'll pay so that they can yell at me. That's the secret.
That's how you get access to the comments.
That's why I throw elbows on you every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah. But returning to the world of PC RPGs, this one's for you, Eric. The City Elf intro in Dragon Age Origins has a wedding.
I saw
it's
you
pretty
put
cool.
that in there, and I was like, "Cat, that's kind of messed up. That's a really messed up thing to put in there."
Is that like a red wedding thing?
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. The City Elf wedding is so in Dragon Age Origins, you get to pick your origin for your character. So everybody has the same like chapter 1 of the game where you become a Grey Warden, but you get an individualized origin story that is how your character got recruited to join the Grey Wardens in the first place. And there's about, I think 6, if I remember right, 6, 7, somewhere in that range. The City Elf specifically is you are living in the slums because any elf that lives in the city is hated and get segregated off into a separate part of the city away from humans because humans hate elves. And one of your friends, I believe, is kidnapped and forced into a wedding, if I remember correctly, and you have to go and try and save them to break them out. And it is harrowing and violent, and there are a lot of permutations that can be really dark and disturbing, and you learn a lot of things in the process of that quest that are dark and disturbing. It is very dark fantasy. It's probably the darkest of the Origin openings. It is a really good one. It's a very, very good one.
Wow.
But I think most people start that game and only know the tower opening because they all pick mage when they play Dragon Age, and unless you are an elf mage, I think elf mages can get out of doing the circle opening, but everybody else has to.
I think I picked the gray. I picked the Grey Warden opening.
No, Grey Warden is everybody. You all become Grey Wardens eventually.
All right,
Yeah.
you all become Grey Warden. I can't remember which one I picked now.
Now, I want to
Gosh,
know.
I need to look through the list.
The being kidnapped thing. I'm gonna double check it. It might
Why
have
would
been
he
a
be
prima
kidnapped for a
nocta
wedding
thing.
in this case? Like, the implication is kind of dark there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're okay. So I am being corrected by chat, and it was important because it does get worse.
Wow,
I do.
it got
believe-
worse.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm reading. Yeah. So there is a wedding ceremony that's happening between your friends, and then a terrible lord arrives and kidnaps all the women. It's a prima nocta thing.
Oh,
it's a
the-
Braveheart thing. Yeah.
I was
And
gonna
so
say it's
you
the
go on the
man-
rescue mission to
Yeah.
get them all out, and that's the wedding scene in the City Elf opening.
That's
So yeah,
right. I remember now.
it's
I
very
interviewed David Gator about that actually a long.
I think I picked Dalish Elf, by the way. That was the
Dalish
opening
Elf,
I went with.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one where you're in the woods and you just learn a lot about your
Yes.
lore and history and stuff.
Kind of
No.
boring.
Yeah.
TV. I was looking up weddings and TV tropes, and TV tropes actually has a huge number of wedding tropes, which is not surprising. And blood spattered wedding dress was one of them, and that was where
that's a
the
classic.
City Elf origin was for Dragon Age.
Because if you are
Origins.
playing a female city elf, you get kidnapped and you have to murder your way out, which kind of rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, okay, elf mages do the circle. I thought there was a way to be a mage and not do the circle opening, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, I think most people play the circle opening because they forget and they just do mage stuff. But all of the origins in Dragon Age Origins are pretty good, and I highly recommend doing them, especially the non-circle ones. They're very fun.
It takes a ludicrous amount of work, but I am a huge fan of the origins in Dragon Age Origins, and
Yes.
I'm glad that they exist, and I'm sad that they weren't able to keep doing them.
It's something that I think made that game feel very unique from Mass Effect at the time, and
Yes.
I'm
It really
I'm
grounds you
sad.
in your character.
Yeah. And it's like you get a little session 0 for your character before they're introduced. I love the way in which it kind of always results in you joining the Grey Wardens and the character showing up and recruiting you at like your lowest point. But it's a really good just story starter for who your character is going to be. And then they find usually a clever way to incorporate it later, either in big ways or small ways. But yeah, I like it a lot.
Huh.
So before we wrap up this discussion, any other RPG weddings that we missed? I mean, there was one in
Hell
Witcher
yeah.
3, for example. I like a good wedding quest where a wedding is happening, and you can do various activities. Those are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm reminded of Unicorn Overlord. Cough, 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 cough. You put that on there just for me, didn't you, Eric?
Who could say? Who could say?
I can say.
Dragon Quest V should also be mentioned, I believe.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Core mechanic of that game.
That's I was saying before the show started, like basically, of course, you have Bianca, who's kind of the canonical marriage candidate. If you look at the box art for Dragon Quest V, which of course is one of my favorite Toriyama pieces. But there's also the option of, I can't remember the dark hair girl because no one really chooses her. Something with an N. But everybody goes for Deborah, who was an addition to the remakes on the DS, and she's just like this really mean girl that like has no interest in this contest.
And she's so hot.
She just nags you the entire game.
She's so hot.
Hold on, I'm looking at images of so it's Bianca, Nera, and Deborah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Deborah.
Deborah.
Deborah?
Yeah.
And Kapora Gabora.
And sometimes I must be more cis than I think, because I just look at that and I say, why would anyone want that? Just like, I don't want to be negged by someone all my life.
She's
not worth it. That's it. I look at her and I say, like, she's not really worth it. I'm sorry.
When they're that hot.
The point is, a lot of
that's what Haley does in Stardew Valley, just nags you for most of the game.
Haley's some people love Haley though. Holy crap.
I'm exercising.
Oh yeah, no. I never thought about Haley
right.
until I played Stardew Valley with someone I was playing Stardew Valley in co-op. I had never thought about Haley until the person I was playing with was like, I'm in love with Haley. I'm marrying Haley. I'm like, really? You really love Haley? And then I learned all about Haley during that playthrough.
The first thing she says to me is, ew, your clothes suck. And it's like,
Yeah.
Hi.
She's like, ew, you smell like a farm. Ugh.
Oh, you smell like a city. Get out of here.
Fire Emblem Awakening literally has a playable class that is the bride. I think that's fun. That would sort of foreshadow the next 15 years of gacha games that would offer bridal versions of
the inevitable wedding. You gotta have the wedding. You know that when they have a wedding set, that they're just trying to like get that money, honey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There was something going back to Harvest Moon. I remember I had the guide for Back to Nature.
Oh, nice.
And
Back to Nature.
in it shows all of the bachelorettes and them in all of their different wedding dresses, and something about like the fact that all of them had their own specially designed wedding dress I thought was so cool. Like they just show off so much personality. I love that stuff.
Cool. What system was that for?
Back to Nature was the PS1 game that then Friends of Mineral Town was based off of.
So the fact that space was still kind of not really space, but like the labor was at a premium back then. They took that time to kind of make the new dresses for everyone. I like those kinds of touches.
Nice designs. I want to bring up Sakura Wars. Now, Sakura Wars, despite having a romance element to it, never really has wedding scenes. However, if you know Sumire, who is the best girl, one of her sort of through lines throughout the series is that she belongs to a rich family and her parents are often trying to find suitors for her, and she doesn't want a marriage that's been arranged for her. She doesn't want to marry for political reasons. There's also a mechanic where the girl that you have bonded with, or often have chosen as your soulmate for a playthrough, you can do a special unison attack. And
I like that.
From like the Dreamcast games on, those unison attacks involve like playing a little anime cutscene that usually illustrates something about the couple's relationship. And in the PS2 remake of Sakura Wars 1, when Ogami and Sumire unleash their unison attack, a cutscene plays that shows Sumire forlorn standing at the altar with a man she obviously doesn't want to marry. You hear a motorcycle engine. Through the church doors, Ogami rides in and Akira slides to interrupt the wedding. And the last thing you see is Sumire leaving her betrothed, hopping on Ogami's motorcycle, and you see them ride off into the distance as a wedding ring drops in the foreground. And then everyone in the battlefield takes extreme damage.
Ouch.
Wow.
Arts.
I
Good.
love
I object.
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
See, now that's the graduate ending, but a good one.
With less of an age difference.
You know what I also like about like when you have a married couple in an RPG, sometimes you have, as you said, the attacks together. After years, I like the fact that Cecil's entire family can be a part of it. That's the same with Dragon Quest V, the CPL there.
Totally. That's also
like
one
that.
of the rare uses of a diegetic use of the term Final Fantasy. If you use the original FF4 endgame party and you do a unison attack, it's called Final Fantasy.
I love that.
Oh.
I love that.
Also, shout outs to Rune Factory, which also has good marriage stuff. I think 4 specifically is the one that I care the most about because it's the one that I've spent the most time playing.
I got to write some of that related dialogue for Rune Factory 3's remake. So if you
cool.
marry, I know the mother was named Hazel. Her daughter, I'm trying to remember her daughter's name, but those are the characters I wrote in the game.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no. Rune Factory 4 has some great characters. I think I ended up in my first run I married the Saber character who's just Saber from Fate. And then I think second run was the ghost girl, if I remember right. I forgot what her name is, but she's like a ghost basically.
Ghost Girl.
Yeah. And that's also one where it has tangible effects because all of those candidates can basically follow you into dungeons and do stuff in the dungeons with you. And that stuff rules. I haven't played enough of Ozma yet to see what happens when you get married and how that affects the game and stuff, but I would be curious because I haven't played much of Rune Factory Guardians of Ozma, but I heard good things about it, so
yeah.
You can marry people, your party members in Dragon Quest VIII. Dragon Quest VIII. Dragon Quest XI.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, in the original Dragon Quest XI, you could marry, I can't remember her name, Chicken McNobody from the start, with Sandy's the dog. Anyway, there was that girl you grew up
Do
with.
I need to take my headphones off if there's going to be spoilers?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna like spoil anything. I'm just gonna say yes, you do have the option. Like, it's a post game thing, where you can marry like any of your party members. Gemma, thank you, chat.
I like a game where you can marry or get together with someone mid game or early game, and then they become your companion for a good chunk of it. Yeah. I think Witcher 3 did a fantastic job of making its relationship a core part of the story by having you choose them relatively early, and you suffer the fallout of your decision because whoever you don't pick is going to be pretty mad at you. I didn't pick Yennefer, and I kind of regret it, but at the same time, like, we're like besties, but I was into Triss, so
okay.
We were still besties. It was okay.
Triss.
What?
Apparently
What's wrong with Triss?
That's Yennefer, all right? That's Yennefer, all right? Like Triss is great. I like Triss. Triss and me, like, good pals. But that's Yennefer.
Yennefer is like ride or die, but I'm not going to marry her. Are you kidding me?
She's ride or die, but I'm not going to marry.
Wow.
What? Wow. I cannot believe what I'm
marriage
hearing.
Otherwise?
Imagine if she heard you say that.
You'd be ashamed of your words and deeds.
Would she get mad at me?
She's my best friend. She's like my confidant. She's the one I go to, but
not anymore.
Wow. Friend zone. That's even worse.
God, no.
Add this to the annals of Kat's relationships. Friend zoning Yennefer.
Yennefer is like peak. Like that is one of the best romances in video games. IMO, and it helps that it was bolstered by being in the books and stuff like that. But like,
I'm ashamed of my words and deeds. I get it. It's a canon romance.
The entire like romance quest you get from romancing Yennefer is one of the best parts of that video game. It's so good.
I agree. It's fine. Yeah. Here's the reason it happened to me was I was playing Witcher 3 for the first time. I knew nothing about the Witcher books. I didn't really know about Yennefer as sort of the canon character. And so I did that entire wonderful masquerade quest line with Triss, and I ended up wearing the wolf masquerade thing on Geralt the entire game after that, which was pretty cool. And I had such a wonderful time with that quest line, and it got me properly into the game. And then Triss was like all into Geralt, and I was like, yeah, this is great. We're gonna get together. And then Yennefer shows up, and I was like, oh, I like you better, but I've already committed to Triss.
Oh.
And see, I had played The Witcher 2, and there I ditched Triss for, I think it was the medic. No, she's like the medic was Witcher 1. It was she's like the second to Yorvith in Witcher 2. I forget her name. She shows up in the DLC for 3. But yeah, no, I've never opted for Triss in any of the times I've played.
I like red hair. I like the red-haired girls.
Yeah.
So she got
options
me
than
right
Witcher.
away.
Shani, that was her name, Shani from Witcher 2 and then Witcher 3 DLC.
All right.
I joke about eugenics, but we do need a genealogy of the Holy War official localization. I think it's just a fantastic game. I think the mechanics.
There's a wedding in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the time skip and the stuff that they sort of repurposed for Awakening, I think works great.
And then the baby
like
dimension for the next game.
The baby dimension.
Into the baby dimension.
It worked for Awakening because of the story they were telling and the narrative mechanics. And then in Fates, it felt like they were just being like, well, we did in the last one. We can't not do it this time.
Yeah.
Surprise.
I want to bring up, I think FF13's engagement between Snow and Sarah is a really great scene. Say what you want about FF13. No, wait, don't, because you're wrong.
I only have one thing to say. It's that Sarah can do better. Snow sucks.
Snow, the himbo power that Snow possesses, especially after he's gone through his development throughout the events of 13, is fantastic. He's not the most consistently written character across that trilogy.
Shane. He's Shane. He is
Stardew
Shane.
He is not Stardew Shane. Absolutely not. I refute that. He's
the worst character in
hunk.
Final Fantasy XIII is definitely Hope. So Final Fantasy XIII main cast members ranked Vanille Fang 1 and 1A. Just one.
1A, 1B. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And then Lightning is in there too, so it's just the three of them. That's like S tier at the very top.
I would put Saz up there too. I really like Saz.
And Saz, frankly, Saz is S tier as well. We're talking about like an incredible cast, and then there's everybody else. Sarah's okay too.
I think it's a really good cast,
I like Sarah.
And then I just
Sarah's
don't
a B.
like Hope that much. Like Hope and Snow are kind of the two.
Don't like Hope. Snow's fine. Snow's a little annoying. He's a hero.
Games? Have you finished these games?
I've only played 13. I haven't played 2 or Returns.
Okay, because
Saz really made an impression on me.
Yeah, but Hope has like Xenosaga energy where it's like in game 3 he's gonna suddenly be like a godchild or something. I just don't care. Like I just don't.
No.
He's a particular archetype that started to infect Final Fantasy with 10, which is the kind of the whiny child. He's like,
who then grows over the course of the game and learns to be less whiny.
I thought you were going to say twinks.
That's his whole arc is he starts whiny and then he learns lessons from Lightning, his mentor, and gets better.
Hope is like the Von Titus archetype, and I'm not here for it.
No.
Yeah, he has blonde, flippy hair.
Or Titus. No.
Not a chance.
I feel like we need to give people more of a chance. Like people don't give it a chance to get into characters before they decide to hate them.
Yeah.
Like, they don't let them go through their journeys. Don't let them like just develop and learn. And they're just like, ew, I hate you.
I'm just thinking of the Bro ZD bit where it's like, yeah, this character gets good. I'm so scared. No, it's episode 50 is when they get really, really good.
Oh,
That's
but
approaching
you'll
it
stand
like
you'll stand
almost
for
infinite.
Vanille, who starts out as possibly the most annoying character in the game and then gets her development. I
Canon
feel like
sapphic
there's
relationship. Yeah,
oh,
of
so
course.
there's a double standard here.
What are you talking about?
Vanille does kind of suck at the beginning until she actually
She
becomes
does
a
not have
character.
a sapphic relationship at the beginning of that game. You have given her a bunch of leeway and kindness you are not extending to the rest of this cast in
Oh,
retrospect.
okay.
Leeway, kindness.
Anyway, I've started this by saying we're not going to talk about FF13. I just want to say that the engagement
That's how
scene
you
is
end
lovely.
up talking about FF13. Yeah.
Yeah.
My only other note is that I wish Sarah Farron's card in the Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering crossover was cooler. I don't like it
And
very
it's
much.
pretty good. It's a good card.
It's just you summon legendary creatures for less cost, and they get like +2/+2 once you crystallize.
And then she turns
them.
into a crystal.
Yeah, and then she turns into a crystal. Yeah.
That's
Like
neat.
you do.
Yeah.
And also, Fang and Vanille should have had partners, so you can play them both as commander. Like that was a
Oh, yeah.
misfire. That was.
You can merge them.
I think I would like to one day make a deck where I can rule 0 that and just say like, look, Fang and Vanille are partner commanders. Let me play it.
Eric,
that way.
if we play, I accept it.
All right. I'll start working on my Fang.
If you
and
want to
Vanille
make
deck.
that deck,
It's
and
Golgari.
I'll
It's in
accept
my
it.
colors. Like
Yeah,
Okay. All right. I'll get to work.
that's your
Yeah.
homework.
You can do that on Pride Month, Robo Riley says. they're partner cards, but only in Pride Month.
Last thing I'm gonna say that's incendiary is third birthday is also just fine. I like it. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
I
that's
never
fine.
played it.
Yeah.
and it features a wedding very heavily that is tied to the story, and I think that game's really cool.
It's also my understanding that this is a spoiler for why this is cool, but I am to understand that Suikoden 2 has an impactful wedding scene. I don't know why. Please don't tell me. I have to play this game at some point, and the way I've seen people react to that, I'm like, oh, I should probably not find out why that's a big scene. So
Yeah, it's it's kind of a two-part thing, as I recall. Like, there's the wedding itself, and then there's something that happens afterwards. Not like the same scene, but closely afterwards. Yeah, that's something you want to see for yourself.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about is Ash Paulson hates it. Third birthday. Oh yeah, Ash Paulson's not a fan of third birthday. Friend of the show.
Neither is Jeremy Parrish. Jeremy Parrish really hates it.
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
all the original Parasite Eve sickos really dislike Third Birthday because they feel like it really destroyed the main protagonist in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Totally. It totally does. But that doesn't ruin Parasite Eve. You can I was a Parasite Eve sicko. I think they're all just fine. They're all weird. They're all doing something very strange.
You tell him, Victor.
I was about to say, isn't it? Go ahead.
I love the novel. I have a copy of the novel, and I think it's great. Problematic scenes and all.
There's a new Parasite Eve style game coming out that I just
Oh, 45 Parabellum
Yeah.
Bloodhound.
Yeah,
from the developer of VA 11 Hall A, for those of you who
Yes.
like to serve some cyberpunk bartending action.
I have been waiting for any more news of this game to bring it up on the show.
Yeah.
Because there hasn't been much of anything, but that game is firmly in my view.
It looks sick.
It looks incredible.
Yeah. .45 Parabellum Bloodhound from Sukamon Games.
All right. What do you think, dear listener? Do you have a favorite RPG wedding that we didn't bring up? Is there an aspect of RPG weddings that you really personally enjoy? And is there more that RPGs could do with weddings? I personally think they could. We want to hear from you. Hit us up in the mailbag channel on the Discord or send me an email at cat@bloodgutpod.com. All right, that's it for the wedding ceremony segment. The wedding ceremony. That's it for the wedding. We're all married now. Yay.
All right.
Hey, get out
Okay.
your freeloaders, bars closed.
We're continuing to a series of random encounters right after this. It's time now for a series of random encounters. Demon School was abruptly delayed due to Hollow Knight Silksong. Very surprising given that review codes were literally out with the media, if I recall. It'll be out November 19th now and is trying to avoid what it's calling the GTA of indie games, Silksong. It seems like the development team was taken a little off guard. This was a publisher side decision, so...
it wasn't even I didn't know that.
Yeah, so... I guess on the one hand, I'm really excited to play Demon School. On the other hand, I can wait because Silksong is definitely on the menu for me. So
the latest insert credit, Brandon Sheffield, the producer director, talks about it quite a bit, and it's pretty interesting. And I think despite
you
it
want
being
to Cliff Notes
publisher,
it?
Yeah, I mean, despite it being a publisher decision, they essentially agree with the choice, and they were going to have a bunch of patches in the weeks after the release anyway. That it just means they have a slightly more relaxed schedule and can include a bunch of things that they were honestly just hoping that people with the review codes out there hadn't gotten to yet, so that they could patch in anyway. Like even the version that is out there, they are still actively working on as we speak. So it's not too big a deal.
I think they're gonna miss the cutoff for being nominated for the Game Awards now.
Well,
so
can't they?
I'm gonna be.
I think they'll.
I'm gonna be.
I think they'll just barely miss it.
I'm gonna be honest, and this is not a commentary on the quality of the video game whatsoever.
Expedition 33 has it locked.
I need to emphasize that. No, I just don't think it would have gotten nominated because, and I voiced as much on social media earlier, that we have a problem with voting juries in that they just don't play enough video games, especially smaller video games. And so even if one is really exceptionally
I think
good,
it would have had a shot. I think it would have had a shot at Best Indie or Best RPG.
I would have
You don't
been
think so?
very surprised. And again, this is, to be clear, not speaking to the quality of the video game. This is solely speaking to the fact that a lot of people just don't play a lot of video games and like dig deep into the video games. There's a lot of video games that come out every year, and the ways we have of surfacing that stuff often means that the most common denominator stuff gets seen first. And I think you run into something where it's, oh, this is a pixel art with pseudo 3D tactics RPG that's, you know, very strange and different, and it's going to have a really hard time breaking through because a lot of people will just kind of play Silksong and they'll play Clair Obscur, but are they going to play And Roger? Are they going to play other like major indies that have come out this year that have been like surprises? I don't know. They probably haven't even played Merge Maestro, and that's been like a pretty surprisingly big game this year. So I don't know. I don't think that is a huge part of the equation is what I would speculate.
Okay. Final Fantasy XIV FanFest 2026. The dates have been announced. Anaheim. It's going to be in Anaheim on April 24th and 25th. Berlin on July 25th and 26th. And Tokyo from October 31st to November 1st. 3 Final Fantasy XIV FanFests.
That's usually how they do it.
But Nadia, you're not going this time.
I don't know. It's like, okay, I don't want to go to America, frankly. It's a little bit sketchy for various reasons.
Bit sketch.
It's sketch, and I mean, I miss it because I missed my entire con season last year. I just didn't go to the States, but I would love to go to Germany, Japan. Hey, Square Enix, if you're listening to this, send me and Victor to Japan. Thank you.
Yeah,
I bet they'd send you.
Well, I could see them springing for Anaheim, maybe not Berlin or Tokyo, which is
Tokyo.
Yeah. It's a bummer because they were having a tough time scheduling things anyway, and I feel like this could have been an opportunity to not have it in the States. I'm not just saying this because Nadia and I live in 2 of the cities that would be the most likely candidates outside of the US, but if you look at the replies to a lot of these announcements, it's a lot of people being like, "Sorry, but I'm not going to the States right now," and I don't know if that's going to affect what ticket sales are like or what, but it's a bummer. Yeah.
I know that in like Canadian tourism is way the hell down in America. That's like a tiny drop in the bucket, I guess. But
yeah, there was an article. Somebody was tracking the tourism in the U.S. and it is down significantly, especially from Canada.
Yeah.
Over the summer, so a lot of people just well, they don't feel great about coming over here, and frankly, I don't blame them.
Yeah,
But
you are literally putting certain people at risk of bad things happening. So that's a bummer.
It's a little scary, but
I agree.
Speaking of which, Final Fantasy XIV's community is once again in a tizzy over mod usage.
Can we tavern this section? I think we should bump this to the tavern.
This is a big thing.
Just go to the tavern?
Yeah, it's a tavern.
To the tavern! But first we're fighting to the tavern.
Yes. There are many encounters on the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
That'll be a boss battle. Cyberpunk 2077 Switch 2 sales are here, and 3/4 of them were apparently physical, which is not surprising to me. But I'm sure plenty of people were buying the Switch 2 and said, "Oh, I'll buy Cyberpunk, sure. I don't own that game apparently, and it's good because it is."
It's a good time.
Blizzard's Diablo team has formed a union in the wake of Microsoft's layoffs. Elden Ring Night Rain has added a high difficulty mode called Deep of Night, and it's arriving on September 11th. Eric, are you going to play that one?
Probably not. I'm kind of cooled off on Night Rain. If I'm
Are you out on Night Rain?
Yeah. For no fault of its own, I just hit a point where I was like, I've seen what I wanted to see of this game. I think if some friends wanted to run some new content whenever the DLC drops, I might try it, but I think I've had my fill of it.
Bethesda is teasing a space travel update called Cruise Mode, part of the free updates that are coming, including a new DLC story. Apparently, it's designed to make the space gameplay more rewarding. I guess it'll make it so that you can't just fast travel straight to planets, that you'll be cruising through a star system.
That sounds
sure. I still think they need a campfire mode while you're in hyperspace. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They looked at the space travel, which is just opening a screen and saying how far can you go depends on how big your fuel tank is, but also you can just if you can only go 6 pips, and because you have a 6-pip fuel tank and you need to go 12, well, you can't go 12. But you can go 6 and then 6, so it really doesn't matter. So their idea of making that a richer and more interesting and engaging mechanic is, let's just add things that you do in there. That worked great for Kingdom Hearts. Everybody loves the gummy ship segments. People can't talk enough about how much they love gummy ship segments.
The biggest mistake, I will say over and over again, is not making the spaceship feel lived in enough.
Yeah.
And
this might be an opportunity for that. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're not going in that direction. Also, there's a lot of people who are saying we want seamless atmospheric entry like No Man's Sky. And
No Man's Sky, to be honest.
That would be pretty cool.
Did you see the light no fire statement that was going around where Sean Murray was saying that it's going to be the oceans will be real life sized oceans where you need a whole crew and you have to sail for hours and stuff like that? Sean Murray's back on it, baby. I'm back on the wild ride. Let's go.
No, before they announced that game, I sat down. I went and met with the team, and they were talking about their vision for it. It sounds pretty cool.
It sounds.
They're like,
cool.
yeah, it's gonna be a whole world. Some people will be on different continents. Some people will not meet one another. It reminds me a little bit of Elite Dangerous, where there will be huge fleets of players who just go out and start exploring for reasons and see what they can discover. I think that's pretty neat. It's a really cool concept, actually.
They're also just pitching No Man's Sky again, which we know how that panned out across the years.
It's No Man's Planet.
I'm
okay.
I'm on.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
10 years ago, they pitched this big grand idea, and then what they put out was you fly to some planets, and it's a poem. It's a tone poem, but there was no multiplayer. Basically, none of the stuff that they promised was in the game. since then, Hello Games has come a very long way.
Yes,
and they've
absolutely.
developed so much technology for No Man's Sky that it's being incorporated into this game, and in turn they're developing new technology for Light No Fires that's getting incorporated into No Man's Sky. And No Man's Sky is a really cool game now. It really is. So
I'm somebody who liked to launch No Man's Sky. Okay, I'm a sicko.
Yeah.
I have capital P problems, but
Awesome.
but it did kind of rule. Like you talk about tone poem, I did like that, and this I hope turns out to be something really crazy. But I'm all for the wild ride of Sean Murray saying crazy shit again, and is going to make some really big promises, and we don't know if
shoot
they're
for
going
the
to keep
stars,
it up.
Sean Murray. It's pretty cool.
It might be realized when we're all 50, but at least it'll be realized.
Shenmue 3 Enhanced will be the best video game ever made. Breaking news.
Says
Finally.
Interesting.
Talking
Okay,
about
finally a
realizing
headline I
vision.
can agree with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Victor, you want to tell me more?
Oh, is
No,
that
what
Okay.
what needs to be said? Shenmue 3 is getting released again with an enhanced edition. I mean, come on. It's Shenmue. Shenmue's so good. I can't believe you guys never talk about Shenmue.
Shenmue 1 is really good. I love
Shenmue 1 is really good. Shenmue 2 is also incredibly good. Shenmue 3 is also incredibly good.
I love you, Victor.
It's
never
it's a
change, but also
Dreamcast
maybe
game
change.
It's a Dreamcast game that came out in 2019.
It sure is.
What more could you possibly want?
Victor,
Game, that story is never gonna end. It's never gonna get finished. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
He's gonna be chasing that one dude forever. What
Lon D?
Long Long D. Yeah.
There was. Yu Suzuki is my mortal enemy because Eric did an interview with him for Shenmue 3 and E3, whatever the hell it was. He
The
used
water
his daughter
bottle.
as a translator or something.
No, he didn't. No. That
was
wasn't
me.
him. That was
That was
Kat.
for me.
Translator was horrible, and I had
That was
back
for me.
before
Yeah.
transcription software was actually affordable, and I'm just like trying to transcribe this. Like this is I can't understand a word.
And my thing was I interviewed Yu Suzuki, and that's when he put the water bottle on the table and I was like, how much more Shenmue is there to tell? And he used a water bottle, and he was like, oh, it's about here. And I was like, so like 50%? Like by end of Shenmue 3, we'll have 50% of the story? He's like, no. And he like lowered it. I was like 33, and he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay.
A third. Yeah. There are easier ways to convey
And like
that
PR
information.
and everybody
but
sitting
that's
in there is like not saying anything. They're just like, and I'm like,
Hell yeah.
what is happening?
God, that rules.
After
That rules.
After I spent the demo trying to win a fight that I would later learn was a fight that you were supposed to lose. Like it was a story fight you were supposed to lose because it's the part of the game where you get your butt kicked and then you realize, oh, I have to go learn this new stance so I can fight this guy.
Yeah.
I spent forever just trying to beat him because I was decent enough at the game to actually fight him and not get my butt kicked immediately. And I spent probably 5 to 10 minutes on this fight. And then at the end of it, I still lost. And Yu Suzuki was like, "You're pretty good at this game." And I was like, "This is the
awesome.
It's one of the most insane press appointments I've ever been to."
God, that sounds incredible.
Kat, you
Here's
got
the thing about
Victor, you got the wrong
Shenmue.
Thank you, Kat.
Here's the thing about
for sending
Shenmue.
me to that appointment.
You're welcome. Here's the thing about Shenmue. Yu Suzuki was a technological pioneer making games like Space Harrier and Super Hang-On and stuff.
Space Harrier.
Really incredible, and was a defining force in Sega, like really shaped Sega as we know it, especially in the arcade space. And the original Shenmue, when it came out, was a technological powerhouse. We hadn't really seen anything like it. It was something really special on the Dreamcast, and Shenmue 2 was even better. The problem with Shenmue 3 is that when it came out, it was no longer a technological powerhouse. Open world games had evolved appreciably, and then all of the quirks of the actual design behind the technological power started to become grating rather than charming, and so that's why.
Speak for yourself.
Okay.
I mean, you say evolved as if games are always making linear progress towards the platonic ideal of the open world video game. There are so many fun little dead ends, evolutionary dead ends in the Shenmue games that I think I have only learned to appreciate more and more over time.
I agree. It's a fun evolutionary dead end.
Yeah.
And finally,
I just wish it went somewhere. I just wish it did something.
I wish that
we get to we have absolutely have to get to the Vancouver chapter because
Ryo's there's a Vancouver chapter.
Well, his girlfriend in the first game, she moved to Vancouver. If that doesn't have a payoff where we have to go to Vancouver and go to Richmond and beat up some gangsters, like then what are we doing?
You go to Vancouver and the only thing the NPCs say is Toronto sucks.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Vancouver. Toronto sucks.
This is going to be like Wheel of Time. We're going to need Brandon Sanderson to come in and finish the Shenmue series.
Yeah, bring in Brandon Sanderson to finish Shenmue, yeah.
God.
And finally, Where's Blade, a 1980s fantasy mech anime TTRPG Kickstarter, reached 10 times its goal in the first 24 hours.
Hell yeah.
Have you seen this thing? Cat,
no,
have
looks
you
cool.
seen
It
this?
sounds cool, though.
It's very much a cat-coded thing.
Oh yeah, it is.
Cat-coded.
It is an Escaflowne TTRPG that is getting localized for the first time in 35 years.
Oh, Escaflowne.
I'm watching the trailer right now. Looks cool.
I remember when Fox
2 video games.
Yeah.
Disasters, I recall, with the localization.
The Escaflowne localization?
Yeah, it came to America for 1 season, right?
Oh, it was done here in Vancouver. I liked it a lot.
You're right. This is very cat coded.
Yeah.
I love this art. It's just like dudes on horses, and then there's a mech there.
Yeah.
And the mech has a sword and a cape.
First World War.
Hell yeah.
I'm here for it.
Vibes.
Put this in Super Robot Wars.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Super Robot Wars Y is, I think, out or being previewed at the very least.
Yeah.
I might play it.
There was a season where Fox Kids was trying to compete with WB, and I think that's why they brought in Cyber Six to compete with Batman Beyond. This was just like stuff that we talked about back in the day on the message boards for Cyber Six in the '90s, for God's sake. And they brought it to America alongside Escaflowne, I guess, to kind of compete against whichever Gundam was playing at the time, probably Wing. I don't think it worked out for them because they didn't even finish airing Cyber Six. They just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
So that's too bad.
On the topic of mechs, Super Robot Wars Y came out a couple days ago. I don't have a review code yet. I do plan to play it at least some. So one of the reasons I bounced off Super Robot Wars 30 was that the story kind of bored me, actually, which was really disappointing because it was the first Super Robot Wars that had Victory Gundam in years, many, many, many years, and I had been waiting a long time for that. So it was disappointing to me that it didn't really hit at me. But why? It retains the non-linear gameplay. If you're not familiar with Super Robot Wars, it's a tactics RPG that's a giant crossover and brings in many different mech shows. That's what it is. And it's gorgeous. It's very pretty to look at. And this one has Witch from Mercury. It has G-Witch Season 1, the good season. And then they just mash up the stories in a kind of a fun fan fiction kind of way.
Also excellent. Season 2.
They make my girl sad, Eric. She's just sad the entire season.
You got to get sad to get happy, okay? You can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
You can just have infinite
sadness.
Vanille gets sad. There's a part where Vanille gets really, really sad.
Yep.
That's true. It's true. But that doesn't last an entire season. It's just a segment in a RPG. But the nice thing about Super Robot Wars Y, from my understanding, there was a good preview of it on RPG site. They go much harder on the actual crossing over of the storylines, and so that makes me immediately more interested in how this is all going to go, because there's some real charm in things like the Evangelion hooking up to the Yamato's wave motion gun in order to take down the angel.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So yeah, it's cool. Super Robot Wars V. If you haven't played it, it's out on Switch. It's pretty good. But
is G Gundam in this one? Is my boy Domon Cashew?
But it's after G Gundam.
Hell yeah! Now we're talking.
Post G Gundam.
That's what I'm talking about.
Starring Domon and Rain's child. I'd love that.
Also, Godzilla's in this one.
Yo!
Yeah.
Best chip.
Yeah.
Okay, now you sold all of us. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It has Aura Battler Dumbine, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible music, incredible aesthetics. And it has Code Geass as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's post Geass as well.
Which Code Geass? That's
Lelik of the Rebellion 3 Glorification and Lelik of the Resurrection.
Lelouch, first of all.
Lelouch.
Lelouch? Is that how it's pronounced?
I am Lelouch V. Britannia.
For you Macross sickos, Macross Delta's in this one. And then Endless Waltz is in this one as well, which is really cool.
Okay. The best Christmas movie. Yeah.
Endless Waltz. I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Endless Waltz I think, may have the prize for being in almost all, it's been in many Super Robot Wars games at this point. And it's always satisfying because those mechs are always so good. So
They're gorgeous. They're just gorgeous.
Yeah. And then there's a couple DLCs. One of them, DLC 1, has the Big O.
And my boy.
Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
And then DLC 2 has Steel Jig and Getter Robo, the Jet Black Drifters.
Yo, Getter Robo's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, Getter Robo Arc is in SRWY. So I'm going to be playing this one also. Another reason I bounced off 30 is that I bought it on PC because I was like, I'm going to buy this on PC. And then I'm going to, Zeta Gundam and Seed Destiny are in this one. So we're kind of running it back to Z. I don't like Seed Destiny either.
Destiny,
but
what are you doing here? That's like the plus.
I will just say that Super Robot Wars Z totally redeemed Seed Destiny. It was incredible. It did such a good job with it by combining it with Zeta. That's all. So if they're running it back this time, I don't like Seed Destiny, but Camille and Shin are basically the same character. So having them buddy up, it makes Shin a lot more sufferable. But I will also be playing Super Robot Wars Y on my Switch too, because one of the reasons I bounced off 30 was that I just didn't want to play it on my Steam Deck. That's all. And I'm much more likely to just spin it up on my Switch too and be like, I'll just play a map in SRWY. This will be great. So I have many fond memories of riding the train to work in Japan and playing Super Robot Wars W on my Nintendo DS. So that'll be happening relatively soon. Maybe if I get a review code at some point, Bandai Namco. But okay, we're in the tavern now. We're rolling into the tavern. We're sitting by the fire. We're chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hanging out.
Well, that was a boss fight. That was a mini boss fight. We were fighting a mech.
We're fighting for our lives.
So last week, we briefly talked about the PS5.
Oh, hold on. We have a random encounter that went to the tavern. Should we address that first?
Is an enemy following us into the tavern?
Yeah, is the Final Fantasy XIV.
We don't want to keep this fight waiting. So okay, Final Fantasy XIV discourse, go.
Vic, do you want to take lead on this?
Sure. So what has happened is in the world of Final Fantasy XIV, there are things that are against the terms of service and are bannable offenses known as third-party tools or mods. Now, it's just sort of a don't ask, don't tell. Just remember the rules of Fight Club. If you're using mods, as long as they are not things that actually affect gameplay, if you want to make your character nude and give him huge bazoombas, that's between you and your god. Like
Everyone
it's-
look at the calendar, look at the date. It is in fact shut the fuck up Friday. All right.
Yes. Yes. Just
Every
don't.
day.
It's against the terms of service. You start talking about it, you're putting people at risk of bannable offenses. Just don't. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
And there has been a third-party tool called Mare. What's the full name?
Is it Mare Lamentorum or something like that?
No, it's because
That's the name of the
actual
place.
location.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Mare.
Um,
Everyone just calls it Mare. Yeah.
Or Moon if you're just speaking in code.
Yeah.
And it is a tool where you opt in to
Mare
being
Synchronos.
able. Yes, there you go. You opt in to being able to see other people's mods. Usually this is purely a client-side thing that is just for you to see, but you can view other people's mods that they have done. Now,
If they're nude, you can see them.
yes, this opens up a whole can of worms about allowing third-party access to information in your account that is a minefield. That is a logistical nightmare. So something that doesn't happen very often because Square is usually good about just being like, la 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 la, I can't hear you. As long as you're not ruining the game, just don't talk to me about it. They sent a cease and desist because this opens up possibilities for just nightmares legally. Because this is people, this is a third-party group that is getting access to people's information and packets moving between each other, and that's scary. Also, something that doesn't happen very often is Yoshi P put out a statement, and he's done this before about third-party tools, and he's just said, guys, they're against terms of service. And that's it. Goodbye. Yeah. This one, he brought up some interesting examples of the sort of ethics around it, because he straight up said, if you are using a third-party tool and you are using it to give your character the look of a rare weapon that you can only get from beating like the game's hardest content, it's just for you. And we're not going to do anything to stop that. It's not affecting how other people perceive your character. You don't have any stolen valor, according to all the other players, you know? So if you want it for photo ops or whatever, or it enhances your role-playing experience, fine, go for it. Then he brings up, if you start sharing that with people and other people can see it, all of a sudden we have an issue.
Right.
And then he also brings up that looter stuff getting shared online, that could give people the wrong impression of what Final Fantasy XIV as a game sanctioned by Square Enix looks like. All of a sudden, we are in a world where censorship is increasing. We have all these age verification legislation that is coming in. We have crackdowns on payment processors that are trying to stop people from buying whatever people deem adult content. If people are posting screenshots from ostensibly Final Fantasy XIV, but it is their heavily modded version of Final Fantasy XIV with big bazoombas, people might get the wrong impression of what kind of product Square is selling, and that can put them in a lot of legal hot water.
I want to jump in to say it can even start to affect, like, even separate from all of the discussions happening right now around payment processors and adult content. And I think that is some of why a lot of heat is coming Square's way on this stuff, is there's a lot of scrutiny from communities from, after seeing places like Itch and other places struggle with the payment processor bounce back stuff. Mm-hmm. This also could affect stuff absent of that, because I believe Final Fantasy XIV is a T-rated game still, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I do not think it's M, but if suddenly there is a widely available tool that makes it so you just flip the switch and now you see people grinding in Balmung or whatever, right? that
And
that
not in that
does like that might bring undue scrutiny on a company to have to raise its age rating, which can
Right.
affect a lot of things. It can have a like tack on effect in a lot of ways. And in a lot of ways, like Yoshi P has had to be kind of quiet about it in the past and is now basically saying like it's brown bag policy. It's like if you're walking around drinking the giant 40 on the streets, that might bring scrutiny, but if it's in a brown bag, then you could be drinking a Dasani. Like who's to say? As long as you're not bothering anybody, just be chill. And I was talking to some friends about this last night that I think this does stem a bit from communities that want to be kind of loud about this stuff sometimes. And it's cool to have your pockets. And then that's one of the harder parts of the modern internet is that there aren't really pockets where you can have these gatherings and come together and do the things you want to do with the games you want to do them with and not feel undue rigid scrutiny from the broader public. And I understand that to a degree. But it is when this stuff gets to the point where it is being talked about in shout chat, where frankly, like, it's interesting that when it's being picked up on by journalists, and not just 14 journalists, but like a lot of people nowadays who follow games know that 14 has had this issue with mods in the past, and there are so many public events of it. It does escape containment, and they have to do something because it starts to affect things if they don't. And previously it was just kind of silly goofs where it's, oh, a group was trying to go for world first and they used a tool that let them see more of the arena than they should have or whatever. And like that to me is just, it's goofs. It's whatever. It's competing for a title that means something to the players of that game, but it's not going to drastically affect the status of that game. This starts to affect the status of that game. And I think that is why, especially ahead of, I believe there's a lot of public appearances that Yoshida is making this weekend. It is PAX West weekends right now. They're having interview opportunities and panels and stuff that Yoshida is on. So there are going to be a lot of questions. So I think some of this was getting out ahead of that. I imagine at some point we're going to start hearing about what the next expansion is. And even in this statement, there was kind of a mention that another issue with 14 has been people complaining about content and etc., because people always complain about content in 14. And I think that was getting out ahead of that too, but it's getting out ahead of a lot of questions that are going to be coming in out of interviews this weekend with Yoshida. And so it's a really good statement. I recommend that people who are interested in 14 go read it in full. It's too long for us to read verbatim here, but I think it was the flashpoint of this stuff has gotten a little too out of hands, and people need to be reminded, like, it's chill, do your thing, like download Skyrim and put your crazy ass mods in there, but then don't go online and start advertising like this is what this game is, you could do this with this. And it suddenly starts to cause problems for everybody when you do that. So that was kind of the statement out there.
Okay.
Big dust up.
Yeah. Just be cool. Just be cool.
Just be chill,
Cool.
man.
Be cool. Be cool.
Be cool. The number one rule for life is just be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last week we asked, why the PS5? What is the role of the PS5 in today's world? And some of it is based on data that I've seen that says that people who are kind of in a cohort of maybe 25 and under their game tastes are changing. The way that they play video games are definitely changing. And home consoles as we know them, that maybe they don't like them or aren't as interested in them as before. And so that throws the traditional kind of console ecosystem into question. And it also kind of begs the question of what the PS5's role is in the RPG ecosystem. Brandon Hall wrote, so just a quick thought from a 42-year-old on the discussion around who exactly are the PS5 audience.
Oh, yeah,
For me personally, my biggest gaming library is in PlayStation, and the majority of the PS4 games that I was playing could be played on PS5. I don't really have time for more than one gaming machine. All that said, I really wish the PS5 trade-in value was better, because I would really like one of those ROG Ally X, or maybe even the Xbox version. That would fit my gaming style perfectly with the benefit of bridging the console PC gap, and my Nintendo Switch just collects dust, so I haven't considered getting the Switch 2 yet. Also, I'm looking forward to the arrival of my Miu Mini Plus coming in the mail this Saturday.
Yeah.
Thanks for reading. I don't think we should discount that there are people who are big PlayStation fans. In the same way that there are people who are big Nintendo fans.
Sure.
And people who go back all the way to the dawn of the PlayStation, because when the PlayStation came out, it definitely established an identity and aesthetic that holds true to this day. What PlayStation is has changed a lot. The kind of games that they make has changed a lot, certainly from the PlayStation 1 to the PS2 to the PS3 to the PS4 to now. But there's no doubt that there are people who feel a very, very strong affinity for PlayStation. In the same way that you would say, why Nintendo? What even is the point of Nintendo?
I wouldn't say why Nintendo. I would say because my original point, in which I'd stirred a lot of shit and caused a lot of problems, was
Eric.
I asked the PlayStation 5 is just a challenging value proposition, and there are a lot of alternatives and new options entering the market, and I think a lot of people are examining that. There was a lot of talk in the weekly episodes this week about it. I entered into some of it, but you also have a generation growing up on Roblox and on Minecraft and on Fortnite and things that you don't need a PlayStation 5 for, and that you wouldn't seek out a PlayStation 5 for. And so that is my point, is where does the PlayStation, specifically the PlayStation 5 and a potential PlayStation 6, sit when that market is changing and everything is shifting? And now there's rumors going around about a handheld PlayStation or something. I don't know how much weight there is to any of that. But
on the pre-show, if somebody does another handheld, I'm getting out the clown makeup and just slowly applying it.
Look, the Vita kind of ruled, all right? The Vita's...
It ruled, but they're gonna give us like a memory card that you can only get at like two stores in America.
Yeah. If the Vita had a normal memory card and could dock like a Switch, it would be a very different world we'd all be living in right now.
I think you're right.
And what a world.
Also, they came so late to the idea that you should just capitalize on nostalgia as much as possible. Like, yes, you talk about like how the games that we associate with Sony have changed, like what kind of games they make has changed radically. And you saw it with games like Astro Bot, where people responded well to PlayStation fueled nostalgia in the same way that they've been doing for Nintendo for 25 years. People can get hooked on the PlayStation of it all and the brand identity, but they've taken so long to do that, and a lot of those games are a little bit more adult anyway, or are geared toward a slightly older audience. Like, sorry, but my 12-year-old nephew is not an Uncharted or Horizon Zero Dawn or Last of Us. That doesn't get him excited.
I think
they're
Last
older.
of Us is
But
like
they're for old. They're for older gamers. You could say adults.
Yes, but we're talking about what gets people buying consoles consistently over time, and that is an attachment to the brands that are on those consoles. And I don't think they came a little too late to that, and they don't still make a lot of like the Parappas and the things that people with money.
People are very attached to. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
I do think. Yeah, you finish.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that I do think people are very attached to like The Last of Us, for example. And you could even say that The Last of Us is nostalgic at this point because it's more than 10 years old. But and God of War also. But also you're totally correct in that PlayStation's been a little weird about not leaning into, say, PS3 nostalgia, which is I think is very strong.
I want
Games like
to play
Resistance and whatnot.
Tokyo Jungle. Is Tokyo like? Did they ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, give us
sad-
There's a
Tokyo
lot
Jungle.
of like
Sad news
there's a
about the
lot
people
of
who made
really
Tokyo
wonderful
Jungle.
weird ideas coming out of the PlayStation Japan studio
There are so
that
many.
we don't really get as much anymore.
Well,
It's so
yeah,
interesting
because
how many
they
great
they
games
did.
we've played, and then like we hear
They
about
did murder
one.
it.
Yes.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's like when you're a kid and you're listening to your parents' music, and you're like, "Oh, I love this song. Who wrote it? Oh, it's so and so. He's dead from a heroin overdose." Like it's like that.
Yeah. I also miss Jeff Buckley. Yeah, it's R.I.P. One of my favorite musicians of all time. Love Jeff Buckley.
Yeah.
But like Sony, how do I want to phrase this? Sony and Xbox, and honestly, Nintendo, Sega, Sega/Atlas, a lot of companies are now looking at transmedia because that is the push. That is they're seeing sales numbers for games, especially big budget games, are challenging. And while Nintendo's clearly got it figured out in a way, Sony is trying to trade on its IP and realizing that its IP is not trading very well. The Last of Us is about to run out of road, and also
Really run a road.
my understanding
They
is
still got to
that
make another one. Got to make another one.
that's not happening anytime soon. And my understanding is also that I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I understand that people did not like season 2 of Last of Us as much as the first season,
No.
and that the road
No.
might have run out pretty fast on
Well,
that
yeah,
part.
like, what happened there? Like everyone just it was like Game of Thrones. Everyone just died on the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think it was a mixture.
They changed a lot, I think,
They-
if I recall correctly.
They, in my personal opinion, and from reading the writings of one very good Kenneth Shepard, who probably wrote the most in-depth analytical
Oh,
pieces
that's
out there about this stuff, they saw the lights coming and blinked. You know, they freaked out and were so worried because Last of Us Part 2 had such a toxic discussion and toxic discourse around it when it came out that
right.
they started changing a lot of things about it, especially some things that I don't think needed to get changed.
Oh, that made everyone happy. I'm sure that was the solution. Good job.
Yeah,
everyone.
and that did not result in a better product. Let's put it that way.
Everyone hated it.
Yeah, especially in the writing department. I watched one episode with Ken and was baffled at the changes they made in some of the writing. But yeah. But I think with you then look at Microsoft, you look at Nintendo, you look at other companies that have created properties that are, granted, Microsoft did it by buying things. they did it by buying Fallout, and that worked well for them because Halo did not. But
Ouch.
even then, Master Chief is still iconic, and I would argue Master Chief is more iconic than Kratos. Like if you're going to make a Mount Rushmore of games, you're going to put Master Chief on there before you put Kratos on there. And
Interesting.
yeah,
I guess.
I don't think that's okay. There are people who would argue.
You want
with
to talk
me
about
that.
nostalgia?
And obviously both of them still fall under your Marios and Donkey Kongs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think the thing that's interesting to look at is just, again, the change in tastes and the fact that there are people getting older, and that's who I do think the PS5 is for. It's for somebody who knows that they want to play the latest AAA big budget game whenever it comes out, and
People
they
who
just
know
want
they're
to
dying.
yeah, they just want to plug it in and play it. I do think that math is changing as time goes on because computers are more accessible and Switch can play more stuff and Steam Deck and ROG Ally can play more stuff, and increasingly people's way that they engage with stuff is changing. Like the second screen is a thing for a lot of people now. Maybe you don't want your TV to be monopolized by a console. Maybe you want to have the handheld so somebody can be watching Love Island on the TV and you can be playing on your handheld on the side and you won't have to fight over who owns the TV that night. I do think that's a thing. And there are still games like Clair Obscur that are going to pretty much sell a PlayStation 5 for a lot of people, or a Baldur's Gate 3 that are going to sell a PlayStation 5 for a lot of people. I think those are actual system movers in ways that we don't appreciate. But I do just think the landscape is changing, and a lot of companies are seeing that coming down the road and are adapting and are trying to figure out what they do about it. Xbox heavily investing into handheld partners and stuff like that is a sign of that. Nintendo continuing to make the Switch is a sign of that. And more people making Steam Decks rather than developing built-in box computers and things like that, are recognitions of that. So if Sony comes out and says, yeah, we've got a handheld too, it's not going to surprise me, because I do think that, plus the diminishing returns of higher computational power in these systems and the added price that gets tacked on because of tariffs and stuff like that, it just makes more sense right now. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying your PS5 is a piece of trash. You should throw it in the dumpster. I still have one. It's sitting right here. I don't use it all that often, but I did boot it up the other day because I was going to download the Lost Soul Aside demo and play that. It still exists. I still have it. It is still functional. I'm just saying.
I love my PS5. I use it every day. It is our YouTube machine. It is my Final Fantasy XIV machine. And if there's a big game coming out that I know me and my wife both want to play, we'll probably get the PS5 version.
Yes.
But I also just don't have attachment to it as a brand as much as even Nintendo stuff still.
Yeah. Astrobot is the most that ever gets me with the nostalgia nowadays, and it feels like even Sony is surprised that people like Astrobot, and all of us are like, yes, because it's fun and it's enjoyable. It's a little mascot. He does cute things, and they're like, well, we're making another third-person prestige action game. It's like, okay.
I know people who are. I know people who are big PlayStation fans, and it's made me appreciate more, I think, PlayStation's place in history. And just the aesthetic and how cool PlayStation is at its absolute best. And I think that maybe more than almost any other platform holder, PlayStation has done a huge amount to bring video games to a more adult audience. And I think there is something to be said for that. Like,
I agree.
Say what you want about The Last of Us, but it is a game that can be played by and enjoyed by adults. And
we've seen it, so can
like
Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like
I also love Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm a kid at heart and everything. But I'm not discounting it, but I'm just saying that like more adult themes, less cartoony, that kind of thing. That's fine.
I have also.
It's a different. I'm not discounting cartoony, to be clear. Sure. And the other thing is, I don't think you can discount PlayStation's impact on RPG history. Like Final Fantasy is inextricably entwined with PlayStation as a thing.
I have also gained
to some degree. I mean, Final Fantasy
I think
7, 8, 9, 10,
Final Fantasy,
12.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those were I have also gained more of an appreciation for PlayStation for what they did for game design over the years, but all of that appreciation has come from me rediscovering things from like the PlayStation era and the PS2 era.
Yes.
And these
that's the other thing. The PS1 era was so inventive, so imaginative, so fun. Games like Parappa. They gave creators a chance to shine.
What we're alluding to before, though, was the fact that they don't make games like that anymore. They don't do the same kinds of things they were making in the PS1 era. And, you know, I at the same time, I have also gained more of an appreciation for Sega through discovering stuff at the Saturn era as well. So it's like there is something, there's a nostalgia for PlayStation that could be fostered, but they don't seem to want to because they don't want their brand associated with the games like they used to make them. Even when Kratos comes up, it's reboot Kratos. They're not really celebrating the Kratos of the PS2
They don't want to
era.
celebrate that Kratos.
No.
He's not, and that's my kind of thing with modern Sony. It's just all of it feels a little too everybody should like this, and not enough specific people will like this. And I know it feels sometimes. I do think there are exceptions. I give credit to the Ghost of games for having a very distinct style. I give, obviously, Spider-Man is Marvel. It's whatever. That's going to be a separate discussion entirely. But I look at games like Horizon or even The Last of Us, which is like Naughty Dog has been pretty open in saying that like this is us just trying to make like a video game of the TV and movies that we love, and sometimes those games just feel like that, where they say like, we love this movie, what if you could play it as a game? But I think a lot of that then turns into just very broad appeal that just doesn't ultimately resonate with me, and not in the ways that we would talk about adult games and I immediately go to Disco Elysium, I go to Baldur's Gate 3, I go to Clair Obscur. Those are the games that resonate a little bit more with me in my adult side, you know. So
I think of Doku say, but that's that's a different
Doku
conversation.
is a crazy poll. Colon banging summer.
I was going to say
games.
two of the most significant moments in gaming history, IMO, are PlayStation coming out and just Saturn deciding that it was going to come out early, and PlayStation just coming out and saying $299.
Yeah.
And then the other one was definitely Nintendo screwing over Sony, and then Sony stealing Final Fantasy away from Nintendo.
Sure.
And Final Fantasy VII was a defining game for the PS1.
Yeah.
And opened a door for just a huge number of amazing JRPGs to finally come west when they never would have had a chance before, because they were seen as too niche and that kind of thing. Because PlayStation did away with a lot of kind of the toxic licensing practices of Nintendo and opened a lot of these doors. And were a lot more, I suppose, not laissez-faire, but just not as stringent
A little more
about
chill.
as Nintendo was. And I'm grateful for that. And I think that is still part and parcel of the PlayStation's identity and its history. A lot of these Japanese RPGs I still heavily associate with the PlayStation consoles. I don't buy an Xbox for Japanese RPGs. I buy a PlayStation for them, or a Switch.
The PlayStation 1 won the console war for the next 15 years because Sony courted Square and Namco. The Saturn was doomed from the start when they didn't have any Namco or Square games, and that sealed it for Sony. And forget Nintendo, because that was the whole CD versus cartridge, whatever. But like by securing specifically Square for their RPGs and Namco for arcade games, Sony won and won forever.
See, I didn't know that Namco was exclusive to Sony, or I forgot.
It was more like a gentleman's agreement, because Namco was still competing with Sega in the arcades in the mid 90s. So they just sort of naturally gravitated towards the PlayStation. But that was enough. Like you're not going to be playing Tekken on Saturn.
You sure weren't.
Yeah.
So PlayStation, interesting, complicated history and interesting, complicated future. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right now, we're in an era where people who grew up playing video games in the 1980s are in their 40s and have disposable income and are probably going to buy a PlayStation, and they're going to be playing FIFA, or they'll be playing RPGs, or they'll be playing the latest big game du jour. But when the current crop of kids who are 25 and under start getting older, like, what does that mean for PlayStation in like 10, 15 years? Will they have literally any affinity for PlayStation? I can't say. Or will they just be playing Roblox forever?
Yeah.
Ugh, what a world to be living in.
We'll be in the Digimines.
The Digimines.
Yeah. That's the haunting undercurrent of all this, is that all of this discussion is essentially moot because everybody's just going to be playing Roblox.
Yeah.
Kids, play better video games. That's what I'm saying. Play better video games.
Reopen the video game schools and get these children learning.
Need to learn some real shit for a change.
All right, that's it for the tavern. Nadia, take us home.
I thought I might talk a little bit about just kind of keep up the wedding theme, because someone who has been married for 24 years.
Wow.
About weddings and whatnot. Yeah, I got married. My husband, David Oxford, he was from North Carolina. I'm from Canada, obviously. And he was like, okay, well, we want to be together, but it's going to be really hard because we're from different countries. It's hard enough if you're in the same country. So getting married back then was the fastest way to get hitched to someone. And we got it done right before 9/11, so go us.
Wow.
Yeah, we got married on June 9th, 2001. So he he was actually back in America when the planes hit the towers because he was getting some stuff from home, and he came back through, thankfully. But they thought that his PlayStation memory card was a bomb detonator, so that had to be sorted out. But
Wow.
anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk about my wedding because, again, it was 24 years ago. And at that time, like, we had met on the internet and we had friends from the internet. And it's like, what do you do when you have friends from the internet and you don't even have, like, video calls or anything like that? You know each other over IRC at the best, or a guest book in the case of Sweetkin and Guest Book, whereas a community I was part of. So you just invite them all and you hope for the best. So I had my wedding was very nice. We had like a really nice venue in the Don Valley, that probably thankfully wasn't flooded at the time, just as Don Valleys want to do. And so I had basically like kind of a normal wedding, normal looking, very nice venue, very nice people, open bar, because my parents are big believers in open bars, and everyone had a great time. It wasn't actually a dinner, it was more of a luncheon, so it was really nice, but it wasn't, I mean, it was still expensive, but it wasn't like, holy shit, you blew your life savings on this expensive. It was just, everyone had a good time. But in the corner, there were the tables. It's like, where would we put the internet people? Well, I guess they'll just have their own table. So basically, we had a table full of people who I barely knew and who didn't really know each other, except through like some of them shared the same internet, connections and whatnot. So they were having a blast, and everyone else, all the normie tables, are like, but they're just like basically an internet gathering before there were really internet gatherings, and so I find that extremely fun. And, it was a really interesting experience, especially, like, afterwards. It's like, okay, what do you want to do? Okay, let's go to meet our friends in our hotel room, and we'll watch anime music videos. And we did. We watched, I distinctly remember, was it Samurai Champloo mixed with U2? So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Which U2 song?
I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Boy,
it's an interesting choice. Yeah.
Yeah. For a show with as music as good as that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at what they did to
listening to New Hobbies being like, I bet you too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar vibes.
Cowboy Bebop, like Cowboy Bebop was ruined for me forever because it was AMV fodder. Like, at the very ending, it's like Julia's in Spike's arm is like, instead of saying like it was all a dream, she says, "I just switched to Geico and saved 50%." And it's like, I see that. I finally see that scene in the movie. I'm like, oh well, that's where that comes from, isn't it? So it's already ruined. But yeah, they called themselves the internet table called themselves Tablelania, and they knew they weren't exactly appreciated by the other guests, so they pretended they were a sovereign country in the middle of the wedding.
Yeah. This checks out.
Yeah. So. That was a lot of fun. I had a great time. Victor, I hope you have a great time. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, we're stoked. Or I have been stoked, depending on when you listened to this or are listening.
I
have been stoked, am stoked, will be stoked.
Perpetual
will have
state of
always
stoked.
have been stoked, yeah.
Will you be wearing a wedding ring from now on?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I already got that puppy on.
Oh, let's go.
I'm not going to wait for that.
Is that like a Link motif?
No, it's a good old-fashioned little indigenous raven on there.
Oh, I love the raven.
From the same jeweler that my parents got their wedding bands from in the 80s. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is
down on Granville Island.
Totem for you?
It's what we sort of associate with my grandpa. He had a raven as a pet, which was very cool. Yeah. So yeah.
That's nice.
All right, that's it for this week's episode of Axe of the Blood God. Thank you so much for listening. We're now heading to the Axe of the Blood God post-show, where we'll be hanging out with the Stars of Destiny. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about our favorite weddings. Period. Who knows? Whom can say? We'll have a topic, but that'll be all happening in the Discord. Once again, if you enjoy the show, please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/bloodgodpod. $5 a month gets you the show ad-free and lots of bonus content. We'll be back next week. I've been your host, Kat Bailey. Thank you so much for listening. Until then, for Nadia, Eric, myself, happy adventuring.